When are we going to start exam review?
I'll talk about that in a little bit.
Okay.
All right, any more questions from the homework? Okay, I just realized we do have someone missing just in case they watch the video. It's just bell work today. Will be the whole lesson. You see that sheet in front of you. Those are just a review of what we covered yesterday, some of the major points. And in fact, I don't even have them all on here, so I'm going to look at it with you. So, a rectangle, it's just a quadrilateral with 4 right angles. If a quadrilateral is a rectangle, then it is a parallelogram. If a parallelogram is a rectangle, then its diagonals are congruent. If one angle is a right angle, then a parallelogram has to be a rectangle. If the diagonals are congruent, then the parallelogram is a rectangle. And then we modified the midpoint of a hypotenuse. We modified our rules with rectangles to say, hey, if I have a midpoint of the hypotenuse of a right triangle, it is equal distance or equidistant to all 3 vertices. So it creates basically two triangles. And I didn't have this in there. I do want to put it up there really quick. I couldn't take a picture of it because for whatever reason it didn't. I just want to take a picture because you have the rest of them in front of you. I just want you guys to maybe make this mark on this just to remember. If you have, and this is my midpoint, if M is my midpoint, so if this is a midpoint, then all 3 of these segments are congruent. And we come up with 2 isosceles triangles. So you're looking out for midpoints of a right triangle in order to apply this theorem. All right, the other 3 just have to do with rhombus, rhombuses, rhombusi. I feel like it should be rhombusi. Doesn't it feel like one of those words that would be rhombusi? It sounds better with rhombusi. Anyway, a rhombus is a quadrilateral with 4 congruent sides. A rhombus has the following properties. So the only definition of a rhombus is 4 congruent sides. So if I say here's a rhombus for you, the biggest thing is I'm saying you have 4 congruent sides. If a quadrilateral is a rhombus, then it is a parallelogram. If a parallelogram is a rhombus, then its diagonals are perpendicular. If a parallelogram is a rhombus, then each diagonal bisects a pair of opposite angles. We'll be using a lot of these rules today in these proofs. And I'm not going to do much with the proofs. Maybe we'll just start one together. I don't know if any of these transferred over onto my iPad. We'll see. I think this is the first one. Oof, I don't like how that zoomed. Let's recombobulate our action. Boom. This says prove theorem 512, and it says the diagonals of a rectangle are congruent. So what do you think is given to you in this statement? Akshay.
I'll just be random letters. AKSH is a rectangle. SE?
H. Of course.
You did H then? Weird. We're completely random.
It's not that random.
So you're given.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it, Akshay. I mean, I don't get it. Aksh. I don't get it. Must be some kind of abbreviation for something. Always kind sibling hearts. You're a very kind person. All right. Awesome.
Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid with a K.
Stuffing.
Awesome Kool-Aid. Stuffing happy.
There we go. That's good.
All right, so we have a K S H is a rectangle. And do you know what else is given to us? And well, I'm not going to apply it because you're just going to apply it as needed. Oh, the reason is given. But what else is given? Don't write this. But what else is given is any fact that goes along with a rectangle that doesn't proceed, or you can't come up with the diagonals of rectangles that are congruent. But you can say, what's the definition of a rectangle? Yeah.
Well, it has two sets of equal sides.
Yes. So one of my givens would be this is congruent to that, and this is I wouldn't write all these givens down because you're not going to use all of them.
Yeah.
But this is given to this. This is congruent, so that could be a given. What's the definition of rectangle, though? Definition. You can flip your sheet over, and it has the definition right on the top. Lydia.
A rectangle is a quadrilateral with 4 right angles.
So it has 4 right angles, so that's also given to you. Hey, what makes a rectangle unique is that it has 4 right angles. So you better believe you are going to use the fact that these are right angles somewhere in this proof. All right, it's going to make your case on this one. So anything that makes it unique, like the next one, I think is the next one a rhombus one?
Yeah.
So you better believe what makes a rhombus is all 4 sides are congruent. So you're going to use somewhere in there that all 4 sides are congruent, or at least sides that are next to each other, not just across. So what makes them unique is probably going to be the key to these proofs. This one says the diagonals of a rectangle are congruent. My advice to you in setting this one up is to come up with your right angles, because that's what makes this. And my hint to you, as you see how that triangle makes, this diagonal makes a right triangle. Can you see that triangle? If I draw the other one, it makes a triangle like this. If somehow I can prove that this triangle is congruent to this triangle, then by CP/CTC, this diagonal would be congruent to that diagonal, and you'd be done. All right, go ahead and get started. Ask questions. These aren't as easy as they look. I also am not